first to run is Canadian competitors Jay Cooper and Charles Baird. Team Zero Drama Racing, the buggy's called Red Rum.
This place here, man, it's like the Olympics of 4x4ing. I love this place. Like 500 miles, came here qualifier, come here now. If I don't place, I'm coming back September. I'm always coming to this place. It's like the Olympics for us, so it's awesome. But when I started, I had this great idea. As soon as that horn went, my brain just went off, and we just wailed on it. Some spots we took smart, but we had the big advantage today because we were the first ones on the rock course. So everybody else was gonna have lots of mud, and they're gonna have big problems. And then I told Chuck just to hang on. Just had a great time. Chuck finally got to finish in the buggy this time as co-dog and not being on the track, so it was gnarly. But there's a lot of guys now that are going to be watching me, so they're going to be wanting to go faster time than I got today. So,
a solid run for Jay Cooper as he approaches the finish line. He survived the weekend in the Tough Country Mountain Man course. He has got to be very happy with that. Congratulations, guys. And course is underway as the rain continues to pound down. Greg Torrey and co-dog Ryan McCarty of Team Barely Legal are battling this course now. Just like our other events, the Mountain Man is ever-changing. This year, the Mountain Mafia teamed up with Tough Country Suspension to rework this course into one of the gnarliest versions we have ever seen. With Mother Nature delivering heavy rain, and due to how we designed this venue, a lot of that water drains directly into this trench. As the day progresses and the drivers continue to stir that mud, this track is sure to become more difficult. This North Idaho clay is awesome to build courses with and provides excellent traction when dry, but when it gets wet, it turns into snake snot. Sliding off of these steep walls and tipping over is going to be difficult to avoid. After an awesome weekend of competition, Greg Torrey finds out the hard way, resulting in a DNF. It's Chris Kaufman's turn to attempt one of the most difficult courses the Mountain Mafia has ever created. To finish, it requires a balance of strategy, skill, finesse, aggression, and most importantly, a vehicle that can hold up and survive 5 grueling events of hardcore abuse. Miller Welders and the A&L Compressed Gases crew have been on site working day and night providing repairs and welding services to keep these drivers in the game. In addition, and one of the very best parts about Havoc-style racing is how these competitors will help each other by doing everything in their power to keep the competition the best it can be. From loaning spare parts and tools to jumping right in and assisting with repairs. At the end of the day, they all share a common respect for one another in this sport, and it's as real as it gets. Chris Kaufman is unable to continue and gets smacked hard with a DNF. Here is Brent Harold, the youngest competitor in Havoc history. He has continued to earn respect from these other drivers and spectators all weekend long. If he can perform well in this event, he has an excellent shot at a podium finish.
The rig didn't have any problems. It stayed running and steering was good, and it was raining all day, so it was pretty slick up there, but managed to cruise through it just like my dad told me to.
Following his father's advice, Brent knows that all it will take is one mistake to knock him out of contention. Brent is wise beyond his years. He decides to play it safe through these sections that have already defeated 2 drivers before him.
The V-notches were definitely challenging because my face was right next to the wall and it kind of made me a little nervous. Now that I completed this one, I feel pretty good overall, hopefully top 10. I don't think that I can do better than my dad, but maybe next year.
Brent put down a solid performance all weekend long. It's easy to see why his family's so proud of him. Finishing with a fast time, Brent will sit in second place for now, right behind Jay Cooper. Here we have Jeff Noggle and co-driver Ricky Crook. These are 2 awesome Oregon dudes that do this just for the love of it. It's not uncommon for these guys to fist bump right in the middle of a course. They're having a blast this weekend.
The Mountain Man course is awesome. This is the best course I've ever been through, hands down. it's Southern Oregon style wheeling. This is what I come from, you know, since I was 14 years old. This is the kind of wheeling we've done. And this thing is just a monster version of our courses. So this is my one. This is the one that was the most important to me, obviously, but I didn't know that we would finish it. This is definitely for the big boys, and that's what we came here to play with. When we flipped over, I knew going through that one I had the tires on the high side. And it's kind of a bad idea. I tried to pull out of it. It didn't work. We fell over. The mud was clear up to my side, you know, laying in it. And my co-driver Ricky Crook jumped out and he says, I asked him, you know, you want me to get out and help? He's like, sure. So I piled out and, you know, helped him run winch cable while he ran the cable out. I don't come here to be competitive, man. I come here to have the best time I can possibly have. I could have put ag tires on my truck. I have a set at home. That's not how I wheel my truck every weekend though, so I wanted to wheel it as is, go play with the big boys. Yeah, I would say coming back to Mountain Havoc next year would definitely be an option for me. I would love to do it.
Not the fastest run, but after a self-recovery on that rollover, they got to be stoked to finish. They're sitting in third place. Here we have John Martinson and the Ghoulie. John has survived the first 4 events and is off to a great start here today. The rain is still falling, and the more that these drivers tear up this course, the slipperier it's gonna get.
So we started out, went through the first couple holes, and that went great. We had to back up, I think, on one of the first holes since it's been raining a little bit and it started getting slippery, so I had to give her a little whoop-pow to get up through there. And then we were able to slither through all the slippery spots, getting all the way up to the big rocks there. I was going to go to the left and go around the big rocks there, but decided at the last minute to just hammer right on through them, and it worked out pretty good getting through them. And then got through the big giant step up there, and which I was pretty happy we were able to muscle our way through that. And then got down to that notch right there, and I heard at the top of the hill it rolled a couple people over, so it seemed like the more we pulled on it, the farther it went over the wrong way. And we just pulled and tried rear steering it, and all the fluids were dumping out of it, and it just, oil light was on, and my no power steering was left in it. And that was pretty much the end of the story right there, and we gave it our all. What can we say? I would love to come back next year. Just lit a fire underneath my butt. We're gonna go home, take the Fiat, get it in the Ghoulie den, you know, do the improvements we need to do to it, definitely get a stronger winch cable. That was a brand new winch cable we put on there from the Hill and Hole course. I was hoping it wasn't gonna break, but it broke too. So I think we're coming back with some steel cable next year.
Unfortunately, John couldn't finish the course. He catches a DNF just like a bunch of other guys. Here we have Tracker Bane in that totally custom orange Bronco. We catch Tracker down at Winnemucca, Nevada, at some Oregon events as well. Tracker is always down to try to earn his way into this Havoc event like he did this year. Let's see what he can do on this Mountain Man course.
Everything was going great through all the holes at the top, right on through into the rocks. Everything was going smooth and quick. We got into the rocks, we bounced off a couple trees, got through there, came across the road, got in here, started having bad clutch control issues. I think I lost my master or slave cylinder in the hydraulic system. And then suddenly it was bound up and had to winch to even move because I couldn't get it out of gear, couldn't use the clutch to push it in, and could not go forward because of lack of traction. So we hooked the winch on and pulled forward. This is my favorite course of all courses to be on here. This is the only one that I like saving it for. All the other ones, it's big horsepower, big tires, and big lead in your pencil. We will be coming back again. Bigger, better, more horsepower. We got to come back and make it at least through everything once.
Tracker gave it everything he had, but he is going to be added to that long list of DNFs. Here's Steven Montpass in beautiful green Willie. Me and Steven met at TTC 2011, and we've been friends ever since.
The beginning, it's been raining, you know, so we've been sitting here watching it get worse, but just coming those sloppy holes, everything's slick. So we're coming down those humps, coming down into the big old pit up at the top, sit down there, and then we knew we had to get through the rocks. You know, I tried to walk over because those rocks are getting worse, they're slick and muddy. So after that, we knew that's kind of our game after that. We wheeling this stuff all the time at home, so We're used to the nasty, wet mud, so everything's waterproof. Ran great, the Jeep did great. New build, super happy with it. Just pumped, you know, this is the event we've been waiting for this whole event. Trying to make up some points. We know some people were struggling, but we knew we had to push to get some points on this one. It feels pretty good. I don't know what the time was, but it's a muddy mess out there. I was trying to make sure my co-pilot didn't have to get out, so I managed to get here all in one piece, and he's still buckled in. Challenging portion, trying to stay on the high side of those rocks, and then getting out of this corner down here is getting pretty bad. You know, we have to pop back up onto the top of the course, but it took us 2 stabs, but we got it. Oh man, we're having a blast. We do every year, but even better this year. Next year, if you guys will have us and we get in, we'll be back for sure. Thank you.
No, thank you, Steven. We had a great weekend racing with you, and that was an awesome run. 2nd place. Here we have last year's champion, Leroy Latham. He's won more events than some of these guys have even raced.
We took off right off the bat. We hit the Kaufmans up top, got through them no problem. Right out of the deep hole down there, I could hear my front steer belt squalling. Brand new belt because we put it on yesterday, so it has no break-in time, and it went right to squealing a bit. So my front steer was pretty weak, but doable, usable. Got through the rocks pretty clean. Got through the sea hole pretty decent. We popped right through it, especially there's some big old undercuts in there, so to get out of that I felt pretty good. Once we got up on top, it was pretty smooth sailing down here until we come around the corner and drop down into the last sippy hole here before you come out on top. And somehow I think we just got some mud and jumbled up alternator belt, took out the rear steer belt. So that last bit of course was no rear steer and no water pump again. So, you know, the course is sloppy, super sloppy. We've had nothing but downpour after downpour. You know, the first couple runs were nothing. I mean, it was all pretty dry and good to go, and then it just been raining ever since. So it's a sloppy mess. It is really messy. It is what it is. We finished the course, and I can't be any happier.
With broken steering, Leroy is forced to crab walk over the finish line. That was an extremely fast run, putting him in 1st place. We'll have to wait and see if that's enough to win the overall.